I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know, that or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino.
Welcome back, Slotcar family, on another video on slotcardude. Today we're going to have a look at those special chassis that I found in the UK Slotcar Festival, the GM chassis in 1 to 24 out of Italy. As you can see, I got two cars to do a little comparison, and I got both kits with the Ferrari body, as you can see. Now let's have a look at the chassis. Many of you have already seen the chassis in my UK Slotcar Festival, the news section. It is a mixture of new evolution and old things on a chassis that work well. The new thing is it's 3D printed, as you can see, but the shape is very well known and familiar, because if we do a comparison to a so-called Monza chassis out of the 60s, which is the white chassis here on the right side, it looks very, very similar, familiar, let's put it that way. Let's check out a little closer. Of course, there are differences, but again, the way the chassis is done, the size, the dimensions, it is pretty much the same, or let's put it that way, it's pretty much in the same category as those 60s chassis that we can see here, or this one especially. I will have 2 or 3 more comparisons with 60s chassis as I have them in my collection. So let's see what the other chassis look like. This is, for example, a rust kit chassis. It's a metal pan, and as you can see, that especially in the shape looks very much like the GM chassis. And the producer of the GM chassis said, yes, of course, he's a 60s guy. He started racing in the 60s. So this is where the idea came from. Again, the new thing on the GM chassis is it's 3D printed, and you can adjust actually the body float, which you couldn't on those old chassis, as you can see here. Again, the side pans with the round shaped upwards parts look very familiar, because GM also used the same design. Here we have another comparison. This is the Carrera race chassis that was available in the 70s. Again, very similar to what we can see on the GM chassis. The only difference is those old chassis had drop arms, which means the guide was always on a drop arm. In the 60s, they believed that this will guarantee the best traction for the guide, the best power supply for the whole chassis. Again, if we look at the side pans here, very much like the GM chassis. And that's what I like about it. The positive
If you like this kind of content, please leave a like.
Fabrics.
If you want to get informed when I issue new videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It's free of charge. Leave comments, share, tell others. Just feel free to stroll around in my channel, ask questions, all slot car related. You ask them, you get an answer. No problem.
One more chassis out of that era that is not really similar, but it is the same family more or less. This is a so-called Kutznia chassis, completely out of orange see-through plastic, very hard to get nowadays, because they had a problem with stability, which means many of those chassis are broken. Of course, they were used on public tracks, especially with lexan bodies, so routed fast tracks. This is the home of this 60s and 70s chassis that I showed you in comparison. And again, you can see the setup parts for lexan bodies, which is completely similar to the GM chassis. Now, coming back to setting up the GM chassis, of course I trued the tires front and rear, and the good thing is the way you can adjust the front height, like on 32 cars, and I just want to show you once again how I set up the guide or the height of the guide. There needs to be, to me, a little gap between the braids and the electrical supply of the track, and the wheels do touch the track all the way. Again, this is my way of setting up. I know that looking at Mr. NSR's video from the US, he claimed that he will have the front wheels in the air and the guide fully touching the track. This is a difference. It is to personal preference. So it is only my way of doing it, and I just wanted to share this with you. This is what the whole setup looks like with the unpainted body. The reason why I show you this is my painted version is not looking that well anymore. It was my first attempt to do the lexan bodies by painting them from the interior, from the inside. I did learn a lot. I will do a second body and I will show it to you, hopefully the better version of the second body when that is finished. I did make a few mistakes on the first body, but it's all about learning. And again, I wanted to share with you what the new chassis does. It is possible to adjust the body float here on this new GM chassis. The tires and rims are all original and come with the body. So let's check it out and let's have a look what it looks like on track. Don't forget, it is urethane tires, and that means, yes, of course, they are slippery, of course. And just for the video and for the slow motion, yes, of course, I overdid it a little. I didn't want to break the track record. I just wanted to have fun with this car. And this is what you can have all the way. A lot of fun without magnets and even without additional weights. If I would go to a race with that car, I would add weight. At the moment, it is a lot of fun to learn how to drive this car without weights to make it run quicker. Again, you can see in the super slow motion the way this car behaves. Also predictable, very predictable when it comes to cornering and being tail heavy. Of course, it is tail heavy with the urethanes and with the lightweight chassis. One more uncommon slow motion angle here in our hairpin at the club track. Again, the car behaves very well and I really, really enjoy driving that car. I'm really having fun. And yes, of course, I'm going to build the second one. This was it, Slotcar family. I wanted to introduce this chassis to you. I wanted to share the information where it comes from, where the roots are, and where the basic idea comes from. Thank you very much to Mr. GM in Italy for sharing all his ideas, his knowledge, and his background with me. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see him again soon at his club track. But for this topic, we're finished. And of course, as always with Slotcardude, don't forget, there is more to come.